I wanted to record this video to explain really how these ads work in the first place, right? Because we are utilizing digital marketing to put your firm in front of, business owners contemplating a sale. Now, it works in a very interesting way and it's very different from what you're probably used to. Some of you might be very aware of how digital marketing works, and in that case, you might not have to watch this whole video. But I'm sure you'll learn a lot from this video, and I think it's very important for you to understand how this works so you can understand how powerful it can be. And then on the strategy call, we'll show how we're going to do it for your firm exactly. So, super, super informative stuff. I'm going to try to keep this video as, short as possible, but it does cover a lot of information, and I guarantee you're going to, learn something from this one way or another. So that said, let's dive into it, and we are starting off with meta ads because if you're new to the digital marketing space, meta ads is the best channel to start off with because it's the most consistent and provides the best results. We do offer, like LinkedIn ads, Google ads, other digital marketing, but if you're starting out, again, we always start with Meta for those reasons. So let's dive into it. How we connect you with serious business owners contemplating a sale. Now, I normally start everything off with the problem with other models. Now, I'm talking about here, this strategy isn't about replacing what's already working, by the way. You probably have some referrals that are great and you use your network. Always should continue doing that. You get inbound inquiries, but they probably fluctuate month to month, which is fine. But again, still good if you can utilize it. Or you probably tried cold outreach, like cold calling, cold emails, but those typically yield diminishing returns and increasing costs because honestly, who likes being cold called or cold emailed, right? That's generally why they don't work out as well. But what I want to talk about is adding a scalable system that consistently puts your firm in front of business owners actively considering an exit. If we can do that one thing with the right messaging, we are going to do very well, which is why this works so well. And a lot of them are before they've even publicly declared their intentions, meaning before they even listed their company on different sites. We did a little calculation recently where like 60 to 70% of businesses that came into our flow across all of our client ad accounts were never listed. So these are guys that are just starting to think about it, and you're the first firm that they come across. Really, with all that being said, I want to dive into this portion, and it's before we dive into the technical stuff. You have to understand Meta's fundamental business model. And get this, Meta is Facebook and Instagram. Everyone uses Facebook and Instagram. I don't have to really sell you here, but 97% of internet users are on social media, and on average, people pick up their phone 80 times a day. So you should be on those platforms, which is, again, why we're doing this whole thing. But Meta succeeds when it delivers relevant content to users. That's their whole business model. The platform's entire ecosystem is built on keeping users engaged by showing them content they find valuable because that means they will not leave the app. They make money when people stay on their app. And for PE firms and anyone else leveraging meta ads, this creates a powerful advantage because you are no longer paying for cold lists. You are showing your offer, you are showing your firm to people already primed to care about it. And Meta's algorithm rewards relevant content with better placement across, better placement and lower costs. Meaning if our ads resonate with these direct users, we are going to get better results as time goes on. So that's a very key thing to understand, and that's why this works so well. But let's talk about Meta's algorithm as a whole and really how this works. We start with how it kind of works here, and then we talk about, these different key targeting signals and what Meta actually tracks, which is very important for putting your firm in front of the right people. So Meta's algorithm uses machine learning to process over 10,000 signals per user. The number is not known, it's not the exact number, but it's definitely between 10,000 to 50,000 signals per user, okay? Continuous refining its understanding of user behavior patterns, content engagement preferences, business interest and intent signals, as well as conversion probability. So this really includes a relevance score, and this is just what Meta does, right? So a relevance score, each ad receives a rating based on expected engagement, user value, and content quality. Meta ranks that on a relevance score. And then also, anytime we publish an ad and on a 24/7 basis, it puts it into real-time auction systems, meaning every ad placement is determined through an auction that weighs bid amount, estimated engagement rate, and overall ad quality. So if our ad resonates with specific users, it's going to be put into this auction, and then it'll deliver the ad to the right person based on all those different things, based on our ad copy, etc. And then predictive matching. The system predicts which users are most likely to take your desired action. Whatever we tell Facebook, whether it's a form submission, some kind of conversion, Meta puts ads in front of these people that are most likely to take that action. So the bottom line, Meta's algorithm favors ads that provide value to users, not just those with the biggest budgets. This is why our targeting approach and creative strategy are engineered for relevance, not merely just visibility. So I hope that makes sense. It's just really explaining how Meta puts these ads in front of the right people. But now let's go into why it actually does that and why Meta delivers ads to certain people. And the best example I can give for this is if you scroll through Instagram, Facebook, gone to other websites, whatever, you have probably seen ads that pop up that resonate what you were looking at or looking up. It's happened to everyone, it happens all the time. That's what we're utilizing here. I'm just going through a fancy way of explaining how it actually happens, but that's really it. And if you haven't seen that, which I'd be surprised, then I recommend give it a shot. Look at certain pages often, look at certain things on websites. It's going to show up in your feeds. This is how they really do it. So Meta collects thousands of behavioral data points beyond just basic demographics, right? This allows us to identify owners at key decision points using observable behavior patterns rather than just static attributes. So that means we can find the owners that are in specific industries, specific revenue size, and whether they're determining a sale or not. Key targeting signals we leverage, meaning by we leverage, as in we leverage Meta's AI, is first interest signals. So this is engagement with business valuation content, possibly exit planning resources, and succession planning material. A lot of people that are thinking about selling their business engage with that type of stuff. Life event indicators, maybe it's interactions tied to retirement planning, business transaction concerns, or founder burnout topics. Then there's lookalike modeling, which is where we really get dialing things in. Once we identify qualified sellers and they come into our pipeline, Meta finds others with similar behavioral patterns, even before they're actively searching for exit options. And then there's also cross-platform integration. Meta combines behavioral data across Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and thousands of third-party sites with Meta Pixel integration. So we're able to track a lot of different stuff and understand who's interested in what, and that's what allows us to put our ads in front of the right people. But this is really what Meta actually tracks. So it starts off with content engagement. Not just what users consume and what they click, but also how long they engage with it, whether they return to that video or post or whatever it is, and if they share it. There's also professional network signals, meaning pages they followed, groups they've joined, and business influencers they've engaged with. There's then communication patterns, frequency and depth of business related communications, website behavior through MetaPixel, tracking visits to business service sites, valuation calculators, and industry resources. There's app usage data, patterns across Meta owned apps and business tools connected through their ad network, and then just third party data integrations and extended browsing activity. For an example, as a marketing agency owner and marketing stuff, you would imagine a lot of my ads and content revolve around Meta ads, revolve around paid marketing strategies. That's all I consume. It's because that's what I'm looking at, that's what I'm consuming, so Meta knows that and stores that information. And this ultimately allows us to identify business owners in early consideration phase, often while they're still gathering information and weighing options. So we're not just relying on job titles or static lists, we're tapping into real-time behavioral layers that makes Meta uniquely effective for finding serious sellers actively contemplating transactions. Moving on from that, which I hope you have a good understanding of that, and the analogy I gave or the example I gave early on is the best way to contemplate it, or sorry, rather understand it. But the other piece is self-filtering ads, okay? Only the right people are going to engage with it. So our creative strategy uses psychology-backed approaches to attract qualified sellers while naturally filtering out poor fits. So we really use pattern interrupts as our biggest piece. It's messaging crafted to stand out in feeds and speak directly to owner pain points and motivations. So as an example, running a 2 million plus business and thinking about your next chapter, that's going to speak to someone running a $2 million plus business thinking about selling their business. Or let's say you're looking for, HVAC companies, right? We'll create an ad with messaging tailored towards HVAC based on certain revenue size. It is going to speak to that audience, and that audience is going to engage with it, and Meta's going to learn from that stuff. The biggest thing with all of this is understanding how these ads, they reach thousands of people daily. So if your budget was, let's say, like $50 a day or something, right? And we'll talk about budgets on the call. And you get it at $30 CPM, meaning cost per 1,000 impressions. That means you are reaching around 1,500 people every single day. Naturally, some of those people are going to be the right fit, and Meta's going to learn from that. That's really how the self-filtering works, right? So if we produce that information on the ad creative and have all that messaging, not only does Meta actually scan all the ad copy, the ad creatives, and everything like that to learn who we're trying to target, but we reach so many people that it's a self-filtering process, and we just get better and better results as we go. That's really the big piece of this self-filtering. Going from there, though, is talking about the metapixel, which is a constant feedback loop that gets smarter. I talked about the metapixel above, but it's merely a tracking tool, all right? It is a learning mechanism that continuously improves campaign performance. It's a little bit of code that we actually install on websites and just across anything we're using, right? Your website, maybe a lead magnet, whatever it is. But ultimately, it enables us to track meaningful actions, meaning page engagement, form submissions, calls, creates custom conversion events, and it optimizes for quality conversions rather than just clicks. So we can install something on your website for a booked call. We can actually have Facebook only searching for people that are most likely to book in a call. And then with the pixel, also we can build retargeting segments based on granular behavior. And Meta now knows this person was a good lead, this person was not a good lead. If it was a good lead, find more like them because they booked in a call, right? So if they go through all these processes to book in a call, they're more than likely a good lead. And that's really when the algorithm kicks into learning mode. It builds a profile around your highest quality leads and starts optimizing ad delivery to reach more people with similar behaviors. The result? A constant feedback loop that sharpens your audience targeting with every interaction. Campaign performance improves day after day, cost per lead goes down, and lead quality goes up. Of course, there is a kind of barrier to this where we don't just always get cheaper and cheaper cost per lead, but it does become more effective over time until it's really, really dialed in, and then from there it's pretty consistent. This is general evolution, typically follows this pattern. There's a learning phase for this first 7 to 14 days where Meta's just learning who we're targeting. So you don't want to expect a ton of results in these beginning stages because Meta has no idea who you're targeting until we get those first few leads. And then days 14 through 30 days, the delivery focus on users who resemble your best converters, improving efficiency. And then the 30 to 60 kind of day mark, we expand reach while maintaining precision, so it's more scalable. We're starting to dial in results and just get better and better results that you were expecting. That's just a general breakdown there. Now, it doesn't end there. There's also the landing page piece of this. So like we said on the ad creatives, the self-filtering, Meta does scan all your ad copy, ad creative, ad messaging to understand who we're trying to target, but they also scan your landing pages. So we craft landing pages to match your desired audience. So Meta looks at this and looks at content relevance, your user engagement, and also conversion path clarity. Like they literally go through the website to make sure it is smooth and none of the links are broken, anything like that. So our landing pages are designed to extend the ads narrative with consistent messaging, feature the industry-specific proof points relevant to your target sectors, address the unique concerns of business owners in consideration mode, and offer conversion options that respect, privacy concerns. A lot of people like confidentiality, which is why it's one of the main things we talk about in ads. But we also like, having that and relaying that onto the landing page. This approach typically boosts conversion rates by around 30% plus compared to just standard corporate pages that a lot of firms have, which is fine. But when we're running ads, we have to think of these people as new users that have never heard of your firm. So we need to make sure we're writing these ads and writing these landing pages to match where they're at in the conversion cycle. That said, we're going to finish it up with a few last pieces here. And it's really why also broad targeting often outperforms narrow targeting. So on ads, which you don't really need to get this point, but it's just a quick thing I wanted to add, there's a few different targeting options on Meta. There is the campaign, which identifies our objective. So we will literally select leads as our objective versus like sales for an e-commerce brand, right? There is then the ad set. The ad set is where we select targeting, meaning we can select different interests. So it could be entrepreneurship, small business owner, maybe dental owner, things of that nature. Meta has these interest groups that they put these people in to just help with targeting. And that's where we can also select the age, gender, location, etc. And there's the ad level, which is the ad creative itself, like the content you would see on the platform on your phone. Um, but we rely on broad targeting, meaning we don't really do any of that except targeting age, gender, and location, of course, because we let Meta learn. We give it space to learn, and this has better results over time. 10 out of 10 times. Like it's almost 100%, probably like 99%, right? You can read through this, but it's just because, again, we leave room for Meta to learn. And then from that, it learns based on performance and it dials in again over time. So let's finish things up with really the scalable side of things. So we got all of that, but the scalable side of things is Meta gives PE and M&A firms something traditional sourcing can't, right? It's a scalable way to consistently engage with high intent business owners across regions, industries, and deal sizes, no matter what you're looking for. You can't really do this across anything else at this scale. So, unlike cold outreach or broker only models, Meta doesn't wait for owners to raise their hands, right? Its algorithm actively identifies them based on behavior, intent signals, and real time engagement, and continuously improves as campaigns run. Sorry. The big thing is real time. It improves real time. This isn't just about blasting ads either. It's about delivering your messaging to the right owners at the right time using a system that gets smarter with every interaction. And while traditional channels, cost more per impression, there's like direct mail, which CPMs can be $500 plus. And this is what I talked about above, right? About CPMs. Industry publications also expensive. LinkedIn ads expensive. Meta ads are generally a lot cheaper, so we can reach more people at a cheaper rate. But it's not just lower costs, it's truly higher quality conversations and delivered predictability at scale, something most other sourcing strategies simply can't offer. And that's pretty much it. So you can, of course, ask us questions on the call about this and we'll dive a little bit deeper. But I hope that gave you a good understanding about how this whole thing works and really how Meta delivers your ads to the right people at the right time.